Hello everyone, welcome to NASCAR News Kid. NASCAR headed back to the Watkins Glen road course in New York State. It was a good race nonetheless. We'll talk about the recap results, 36-4-36, the cutoff, and the regular season championship. That battle all coming up in a few moments. Before we get to it, I want to remind you to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you to all you channel supporters. You guys are the best. If you like NASCAR, you like these kind of videos, you are in the right place as we do it every single week. Anyway, let's get right to it. So Ryan Blaney picked up the pole, his first pole since the first Atlanta of this year, so good job by him. He would lead the field to green. And aside from that, there was already chaos unfolding. Kyle Larson, off the racetrack with a brake issue after almost spinning, or does spin, and then goes to the garage to try to repair that. Would eventually come back 15 laps down, and would be that most of the day. But talking about the end of the stage, flipping the stage, Chase Briscoe, Ross Chastain, and others would pit with 4 to go in stage 1, and Shane Van Gisbergen and Ryan Blaney as the leader would pit with coming to 2 to go. SVG was close enough to come with Blaney, and Buescher would be the first one to stay out and pick up the stage win. Good points for him as he is on the cut and did not pit yet. Everyone who did not pitted as expected except Chase Elliott, Chris Buescher, who would be the leader, and Priest. So, like I said, Buescher leads the field to green and would lead until he loses the lead in turn 1 to his RFK teammate, Ryan Priest, and then SVG would take the lead back coming around to the next lap. Ty Dillon, a little chaos unfolding once again. Ty Dillon pushing Josh Berry out of the carousel, typical RCR, I guess, lately, and spins Josh Berry, and Elliott would come to pit road thinking, "Ooh, this is a caution. We can jump. We've seen races won at Watkins Glen because jumping while a caution is looking to come out." And, well, no caution would come out until Chase Elliott exits the pits, and the caution would not be for Josh Berry just sitting there. It'd be for debris from him spinning. So, not good for Chase Elliott there. And all drivers who haven't pitted would pit, plus Ty Gibbs and a couple others from the back of the field. So that would cycle the lead back to SVG, Shane Van Gisbergen. He would lead the field to green. And McDowell and Haley, as SVG would lead the mostly green second half of stage 2. He'd lead, and next up, once again, flipping the stage, McDowell, Justin Haley coming to pit road with 6 to go in stage 2. Busch Logano coming to pit road with 5 to go in stage 2. And then Chastain, SVG, and Briscoe all coming to 3 laps to go in the pits, all flipping the stage. And the first one to stay out in that would be Ryan Blaney, and he would go on to win stage 1. But a little chaos we have to talk about. John Nemechek would get spun by Gibbs in the carousel on the final lap of stage 2. Not good at all for Nemechek. He was running solid, was going to get stage points, it looked, but Gibbs doing typical Gibbs things. Hopefully he's not going to become another Carson Hocevar, but we'll have to see. AJ Allmendinger and Brad Keselowski and a few others would pit at the start of stage 3 before coming to green. Blaney would lead the field back to green, did not pit, and Busch and Hamlin would come together while in stage 3 would lose plenty of spots out of the final turn, and they saved it, so no caution. Great veteran drivers doing veteran things and saving their cars, saving what could have been a caution. SVG would take the lead away from Blaney on pure speed on lap 54, and he would go on to lead until the final pit cycle with around, I'd say, from 40 to like 20 to go. This cycle happened. And Keselowski was the last one with 20 laps to go, still running, who hasn't pitted. SVG would cycle to the lead, and he would, as Keselowski would pit with 16 to go. SVG would cycle to the lead, and he'd go on, but it would not be fully green to the end. Well, it would, but still some chaos. Brad Keselowski, this was really interesting. Brad Keselowski, who just pitted, 16 to go, has issues 10 laps later blows a tire. I mean, there must have been some sort of contact. That's my guess. But aside from that, SVG leads the field all the way to the end of that thing, from the start of stage 3 all the way to the checker. So, excellent job by Shane Van Gisbergen. Wins by 11 seconds. You could argue it's not as impressive as Mexico City, but it sure was a great performance for SVG, and 4th win on the season, ties him for most this season with Denny Hamlin. So, good job by SVG. I do want to mention I believe the only caution caused by cause, not stage end, was the Josh Berry debris spin, the debris from his spin, and even that wasn't really chaotic or anything. So, a relatively quiet Watkins Glen race. Let's get to results here. Shane Van Gisbergen, great job, wins the race, 4th win on the season, like I said. 2nd for Christopher Bell, who passed Chris Buescher in the bus stop on the last lap, and picks up 2nd, so a solid effort. 1st, 2nd place, top 2 finish since Mexico City, so very interesting there, as the top 2 are the same from Mexico City. Interesting there. 3rd for Chris Buescher, solid effort. Looked like we were going to have the same thing happen from last year, but just wasn't meant to be for Buescher today. Solid effort for him. 4th for William Byron, not too bad after winning Iowa. Great effort by him. 5th for Chase Briscoe, solid effort. Continues the top 5's a late call to come to pit road, ending the pit cycle with 20 laps to go, almost ending the pit cycle with 20 to go. James Small and Chase Briscoe just drove up through the field. Great call by James Small and Gang Briscoe. A top 5 and solid effort by him. 6th for Ryan Blaney, the pole man. 7th for Daniel Suarez. Solid effort. Did not see him all day. I mean, it's good to see him having the pace once again after announcing he will not return with Trackhouse next season. 8th for Bubba Wallace, solid effort. Once again, improving on road courses. I love to see that, and many love to see that. 9th for Tyler Reddick. Not too bad. I mean, Reddick's just not been there on road courses all season, so top 10. Just average for Reddick on road courses this season. 10th for Ross Chastain, solid effort. Had good amount of pace today, so good job by him keeping that pace and holding on for a top 10. So good job by him and his crew. 11th for AJ Allmendinger, was not like the best, not SVG kind of level, but solid effort by him. 12th for Eric Jones, even after getting involved in a little rough up with John Hunter Nemechek teammate, still comes back for a top 15. 13th for Priest, solid effort, had decent speed, stayed out, strategy all over the place, so not too bad for where he was running. 14th for Joey Logano, solid effort by him. And 15th for Austin Dillon, once again continuing a solid part of the season. Got top 10 at Iowa. Hopefully we don't have the chaos we saw last year at Richmond this weekend, but time will tell. Anyway, let's get to some notables here. 16th for Austin Cindric. Always been decent at this track, so good job by him. 19th for Michael McDowell, was not there. Maybe the crash from yesterday in the Xfinity race got to him, but I don't know. Just was not there all day. 20th for Bowman, had a solid effort. Top 10, kind of part of the day, but strategy got out of hand, and he finishes 20th. 22nd for Busch, could have been easily a top 15, top 10 day, but a little mess up with Denny Hamlin kind of dropped him back. Speaking of Denny Hamlin, 25th for him. 26th for Chase Elliott. 28th for me and my brothers. 36th for 36 pick Todd Gilliland. 31st for Brad Keselowski. Stinks to finish 31st after that. Does not show how your race was going to end. Probably like a top 15. At the least a top 20 for Brad Keselowski, but loses quite a few spots after needing to pit with 6 laps to go. So, I feel the pain for that one. 32nd for John Hunter Nemechek and 33rd for Ty Gibbs. They got into each other in the ending part of stage 2. And Kyle Larson, 39th, 15 laps down or something, had brake issues. Never got to see what he was going to do besides practicing qualifying. So, yeah, and after that, I do have to mention his worst qualifying effort of his career, I believe 22nd or something. So just was not there all day long. Now, let's talk about the playoffs here. Let's go first with the regular season championship. William Byron leads it by 42 points over Chase Elliott, teammate Chase Elliott. Then third is Denny Hamlin, minus 81 points. Fourth versus Christopher Bell. It's a tie between Bell and Larson, minus 85 in the regular season championship. The cutoff. Alex Bowman is plus 60, 15th place. 16th for Chris Buescher, plus 34. And under the cut, Ryan Preece, minus 34 in 17th. 18th for Kyle Busch, minus 102. Basically has to win to make the playoffs at this point. 19th for Ty Gibbs, needs to make the playoff or win to make the playoffs, minus 125, and minus 129 for AJ Allmendinger. Being honest, I think Allmendinger's hopes are over for the playoffs unless he wins at Daytona. So that certainly stinks for that Kaulig group. Anyway, speaking of the cutoff, after this win with Shane Van Gisbergen, only 2 races remaining until the playoffs. At least one driver will make it on points, and that could be the Reddick versus Bowman. That could be the Buescher versus Preece, or that could be the Buescher versus Bowman. So, I don't know. Reddick is basically locked in unless someone passes him, which would be Bowman or Buescher. More realistically, Bowman. But, yeah, we'll have to see. Reddick is locked in, like I said, unless anyone passes him. And then 36 for 36, we have to talk about this. Me and my brother, we're still 80 points separated. We both picked Todd Gilliland. A miserable day for picks. 36 for 36, only 9 points gained. So no gap moves for our 36 for 36, but I mean, it's better to stay within the gap that he has than take a risk. So we'll have to see who we pick for Richmond. It'll definitely be interesting. Join us before Richmond to check out who we pick. And then before we end this, I also want to give a shout out to Connor Zilich. He was on air interview with, I believe, Marty Snyder during the early parts of the race. Glad to see he's okay after that scary, scary fall in Victory Lane after the Xfinity race. But anyway, that's going to do it. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Richmond, come back here before the race. A short will be posted. As always, our 36 for 36 picks. And until next time, see you before Richmond.